It's day 104 of 118 days with the Tudors, and today we're thinking about the attempted invasion of the Spanish Armada. England's been in this sort of semi-state of war with Spain since 1570s. Things aren't great between Elizabeth and our mate Philip II of Spain. And all Francis Drake's exploits, all this looting he's been doing of Spanish ships, certainly hasn't helped matters. However, Philip was aware that he needed a really big fleet in order to take on the English navy, and also apparently had a shortage of cannonballs. Despite this, on the 30th of May 1588, he decides to go for it, and 130 ships leave from Lisbon with 18,000 men. Now, this is supposed to be forming kind of an escort for the main invasion, which was Parma's army, and they ended up reaching the coast of Calais on the 6th of August. Now, the English fleet was the most up-to-date and the most well-equipped navy, really. Throughout history, England's always been known for having an excellent navy. I mean, we're an island. It's kind of important. They only would have been trouble if the army actually managed to land. While they're at sea, we're kind of okay. On the 7th of August, England sent out 8 fire ships, which they'd managed to keep hidden from the Spanish. So these ships, with the advantage of some very good weather, actually had quite a detrimental effect on the fleet. The victory was small, but it was decisive, and the Spanish ships then make their way up to the Atlantic and Irish coast, but they end up scattered and heading back home, and only 50 of their ships make it back home to Spain. So kind of an underwhelming battle in a way, I suppose, but one that has been very much dramatised as a real English victory. And it was, but it was certainly very much helped by some good fortune and some good weather. And it's at this point that it's worth just taking a couple of moments to look at the famous Armada portrait. And here, I mean, obviously the whole thing is just full of imagery, and maybe we'll cover that in more detail another day. But as you can see out of the windows, you can see Elizabeth sitting here victorious with her hand on the globe, kind of claiming her victory. Now, it's during this time as well that Elizabeth makes her famous speech at Tilbury. What's interesting about this is we quite often see this immortalised in film of Elizabeth riding out to Tilbury in shining armour with her red hair flowing behind her, and it's all very beautiful and dramatic. But there are differing accounts of her appearance on that day. Some describe her as majestic, and there being white horses and white velvet and the sun shining off her silver breastplate. But there are other accounts describe her as a battered and scraggly spinster with a toy sword hanging from her side. So different accounts there, but you can see why the films maybe pick the first one. But it's here that she makes her famous speech, which is described as being pure magic, where she says to the troops, "Let tyrants fear. I know I have the body but of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king." Now, on the 29th of August, she retreats to St James's to recover, and she's written to there by Dudley, her favourite blokey, who just says that he really hopes that she recovers quickly, and generally inquiring about how she is. Now, he died a few days later on the 4th of September, and it's said that this being his last letter to her, she kept by her for the rest of her life until she died. So there we have 1588. We have the famous defeat of the Spanish Armada, although definitely some good luck and good weather helped there, and the death of Dudley, Elizabeth's favourite guy. I'll see you tomorrow for 1589. Bye.